Hey guys, today I just want to present you a few days before the new expansion is starting, the Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I want to show you my DPS tier list. Last time we talked about, my last tier list was about PvP. Today it's about PvE. No tanks included, no healers included, so just DPS. Ranged, caster, melee, so everything is included. You will see it's a very big difference to the PvP tier list. Let me say the kings of PvP are falling down in ranks by a lot, so these classes are not very good to play them in PvE. But yeah, let's have a look. Just for explanation, what I'm doing here, just running here a little bit around in Teneris, mining some stuff. My character is very new here, the server Crobolus. Just 5 days or something like this. I'm level 70. Now I need to level up my professions to be ready for next week when it's starting everything. So okay, let us start with the tier list. Okay, I make here quick a stop. Let us talk about the tier list. Like last time, we start from the bottom. You see the two of the kings of PvP. Arms Warrior as well will be there later on. Yeah, they are very down in the rankings. Everything down in the rankings. Sorry, I had to look quick on my phone. So Sub-Rogue and Frost Mage, they are barely unplayable in PvE, especially because, I mean, you know, okay, you have here a very bad spec with Frost Mage, but you have two other specs that are viable with Fire Mage and Arcane Mage. Arcane Mage even S tier, so there's no reason to play Frost Mage if you want to play PvE. You know also that we have dual specs, so should be no problem for you. Okay, 1000 gold, that's the problem. But besides that, should be no problem to switch around to play the best possible spec for raiding. I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, you can, in that case, we talk about Fire and Arcane Mage, yeah, sure, you can play Fire, you see Fire is B tier, but, I mean, D tier, yeah, if you really don't care about anything, if you just farm the raid, or if you're just going with a pack, I mean, maybe you don't have to skill different, but usually I would say that D tier should be not raiding if you take it a little bit serious. Same with Sub-Rogue. Sub-Rogue is just lacking of pure DPS. It's a very good class for burst. It's a very good class for, you know, managing crowd control, make here stun, make here blind, whatever, you know, but you know that's not possible to make that with bosses, so it's kind of useless in boss fights. Yeah. That also is a little bit the problem with a lot of melee specs that we see here. A lot of them are lacking on the possibility to there's a lot of armor in the game, and the armor penetration items will be showing up later. This is only for phase 1. So phase 2, the things will change, and also during all the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, there will be a lot of changes in this list. I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing that is S tier will become D tier, nothing that is D tier will become S tier, but between, let me say, S and B can be coming swaps, between A and C can come swaps, so definitely things are turning around here. For example, Fury Warrior is a good example. We're coming to the C tier. C tier is Elemental Shaman, Arms Warrior, another king of PvP, Destro, Warlock, Fury Warrior, and Beast Hunter. I mean, don't get me wrong, these you can play these specs if you are not caring about making it to, I don't know, top 100 to top 200 in the world. If you want to, don't go for speed. If you just want to clear the raid, you can play them, it's no problem. no need. Especially here, the Fury Warrior will climb in the rankings later on in the expansions. It's now very weak. Like I said, a lot of armor in the game. He is only reliant on the pure physical damage, so that makes him very weak at the moment. There are other melee DPS that are not so reliant on physical DPS, but yeah, this is the C tier. You can go for it if you want. Most of the specs have at the moment a better possibility, and most of the classes have a better spec, but as you can see, here's already warrior totally showing up. There's no other warrior spec, so you have to deal with one of them if you want to play PvE right now. So definitely not the best phase for a warrior. Could be hard to find a raid spot that, yeah, especially when a guild, you know, is looking for best compositions possible. But yeah, I guess many of them will take one warrior with them minimum, because like I said, later on they will climb in the ranks definitely. Next tier is B tier. I mean, I would say B tier is already very good playable, especially when you have one of the classes that are getting better in the later phases of the game. Fire Mage, okay. Enhancement Shaman, okay. Retribution Paladin, okay. Feral Druid, fine. And Combat Rogue. All of them are good playable, so if it's one of your classes, then just try to play them as good as possible. Go for min-maxing with gems, with enchants, with the items that you can get outside of the raid, and you will be definitely fine. You will doing a decent job, and everybody's happy. We come to the good tiers, A tier. It's definitely a very strong tier. I mean, you know, there's always only a little bit of space between S and A tier at the end of the day. It's the Demonology Warlock, Survival Hunter, Marksman Hunter. So already now every of the hunter specs is now done, let me say. Is here included from A tier to C tier. So at the end you can choose. Definitely Beast Hunter is the weakest in phase 1, but you have 2 other specs that are very good playable. So my recommendation is choose one of them. Next one is Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest is in a good position. You know, it's not in every expansion like this, or not also in every phase. But yeah, Shadow Priest at the moment in a good position. So if you want to go for it, go for it. It makes decent damage, brings some other things mid into the raid. So just a good class, good spec. Balanced Druid. Balanced Druid is also A tier. That means you can definitely decide between if you are feral, if you want to play feral or balanced Druid. They have not a big difference. Yeah, balanced Druid is here A tier, but don't get me wrong, it's not like it's not so much difference between balanced Druid and feral Druid, so it's up to your choice. I mean, they're very different in playstyle. One is a caster, the other one is a melee DPS. So yeah, that's it. We come to the S tier. Let me say, these are the kings of PvE, especially in phase 1. There will changes coming that later on they will be, not all of them will be S tier anymore. You see DKs are very strong at the moment. I guess you also see it when you face them in PvP, maybe when you see what they can do in dungeons. Then you know that I think it's Blood DK, okay, it's a tank spec, but you know Blood DK can do the furnace leveling by itself, the blood furnace leveling by itself completely. Yeah, it's just a very strong class at the moment. Besides that, Assassination Rogue, so that's the rogue spec. They as a rogue has a little bit of utility to bypass through the armor of the enemy with poisons and blood, blood things, stuff like this, bleeding things. Then Frost DK and Unholy DK. Take whatever you want. Best Warlock spec with Affli Warlock. So yeah, if you want to hear it, then go for Affli Warlock if you play Warlock. And the best mage spec in phase 1 is Arcane Mage. So we have here 2 very strong casters. We have here 2 very strong melee classes. That means, I think, for everybody something included. If you go down to the A tier, you have even 2 more casters with Balance Druid and Shadow Priest, and also with Hunter, something that is a little bit different from all of this, and you also have the Demonology Warlock. So at the end of the day, a lot of variety possible. Yeah, that's it, to be honest. If you wanna be always on the top of the damage meters, then I guess something from S and A tier would be the best choice for you, especially in phase 1. Later on, the things can change. Just let us give a quick look here. In phase 1, Warcraft Tavern, I always can recommend you this site. It's a very nice site. And you see that already in phase 2, the things are changing here quite a bit. Feral Druid and Combat Rogue. Feral Druid was B tier, Combat Rogue was B tier, are S tier in phase 2. But still, you can see Arcane Mage, Athli Warlock, so the things from S tier are not declining to D tier or whatever, but definitely there are some changes in the tiers, so maybe you can go look for phase 1 and phase 2 if you want to make a choice that is more ahead in the future. Besides that, the DKs stay definitely strong. You see even in phase 4, so a lot of things going on, a lot of changes, but some classes will stay strong, especially, you know, they have different specs, so like on Mage, there's always one of the, you see there's always one of the specs that is in A or S tier. So that's it, guys, for today. Just a few days and Wrath of the Lich King is starting. I guess everybody made already kind of his choice, maybe not the spec but the class, so maybe it's nice information for you what I gave you today, what I provided you. But always I have to say, play what is fun for you. It's a game. Nearly nobody earns money, makes money with the game. I think it's maybe 0.001% of the players who earn some money with the gaming, because big streamers or the absolute top guild that maybe have a little bit of a partnership with a company or something like this. I even don't know it, to be honest. Yeah, go for it. What makes you fun, that's the most important thing. And like I said, most of the specs that are not so good have a different spec in the classes that should be playable on every phase if you want to be a series raider. That's it, guys. See you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.